just if anybody that's not speaking, that's virtual, put your devices on mute. I'm Joan McDonald. It is January 19th already, 2023. I am ready to open the January meeting of the New York State Bridge Authority. Do I have a motion from one of the board members to open the meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a second?
Second, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I should have called the roll first. I will call the roll. Maria Bruni.
Here.
Lanny Gilbert.
Here.
Michael O'Brien.
Here.
Joan McDonald is present, and I know Alex Berardi will be there shortly. We do have a quorum. The meeting has been noticed per public officers law. So we will begin the meeting. First on our agenda is public comments. Chris, do we have anybody registered for public comments?
Not today.
Okay, thank you so much. Item number 2 on our agenda is the Community Employee Appreciation Recognition Awards. We are going to move that to the end of the agenda, making sure we have sufficient members for those items on our agenda that we will be voting on. So at this point, we have to adopt the minutes of the December 15th, 2022 meeting. Do any of the board members have questions or comments about those board meeting minutes?
I make a motion to adopt them.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Maria. I'll call the vote. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert.
Well, I was not present, so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so you abstain.
Abstain.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The meeting minutes are adopted. We now turn the agenda over to the director, the executive director, Minoshka Alcantara, to give us her reports. And for the record, just before we start, for the record, Alex Berardi is present and has joined the meeting.
We have stood up. I don't think.
Thank you,
Okay.
Madam Chair. Morning. We have started union negotiations with CSEA. Tuesday was our first meeting. Things are progressing well. We are also working on hiring some of our personnel that needs to join the meeting. So we will be hiring the director of electronic tolling, as well as a security coordinator position on our team. In terms of community, we have met with the New York State DOT Regional Director and supporting staff to discuss multi-jurisdictional transportation enhancement brought up by constituents. Some are relatively simple issues, such as developing better wayfinding signage in particular areas, while others are more complex, such as looking at improving traffic flow at certain interchanges. Our next steps includes recommending changes to pedestrian wayfinding signage between Brickman, Winkle, and Golana, as well as in the Newport Pico Bridge area between pedestrians on ramps. On the longer term, DOT is going to look at traffic counts at the 9D I-84 interchange to see what types of improvements may be warranted for cars coming from Route 9D into the Newport Pico Bridge. Clean Path is an underground electrical transmission line bringing green energy from the central parts of New York to New York City, with New York State Power Authority as the state project lead. We have been in contact with them, with one of the contractors. The transmission line will be going through the Newport Pico Bridge right away. In our case, we will need a rule change process to be able for them to access our right of way. NYSBA will continue to work with them, monitor the progress of the work, as well as work with the federal government to determine if what steps we need to take in order to accomplish, these changes if needed. We will be also meeting with the Federal Highway Administration to learn more about their grant process. We are very interested in securing an engineering grant to dehumidify our bridge cables at the Mid-Hudson and Bear Mountain bridges in order to extend the lifespans of the cable. These grants have been awarded to other projects in Rhode Island, to the Mount Hope Bridge, and we plan to discuss also within the Clean Path New York project as their input may be needed. In terms of suicide prevention initiatives, we held a phone meeting in December with colleagues from the New York State Office of Mental Health to discuss a potential suicide prevention summit for the Hudson Valley region. We are aiming to hold this summit in September 2023. We will be meeting bi-weekly with them to continue planning this initiative. In terms of storm response, our command center staff, the health staff, the Albany Emergency Operations Center to assist with monitoring New York response during the winter storm in Buffalo that hit in late December. I had yesterday the pleasure of being a presenter at the Dutchess County Regional Chamber of Commerce. I discussed updates from NYSBA as well as our relationship with the region and community. These forums are a great way for us to connect with our constituents and the business community, as well as present our story and mission to the community. In terms of the Bridge Music Project, our Bridge Music project is a potential nominee in the public art category in this year's Chronogrammys Awards, an annual showcase by Chronogram magazine of the Hudson Valley, businesses and attraction. If you feel so inclined, please visit the magazine's website to cast a vote for Bridge Music during this nomination stage. The top vote in this category will be then formally nominated and move on to the contest in the spring. Please visit the website for more information. Bear Mountain Bridge Centennial, we continue having meetings with partners in the region to share our preliminary plans and ideas for the Centennial. A time capsule is being put together to be sealed in March of this year, marking the 100th anniversary of when the anchorages were first dug for the bridge in 1923. On December 30, an STB while they were conducting their security patrol, they found an injured dog. This dog may have been injured due to peregrine falcons, but now it has been recovered. The STB alerted maintenance who took the bird in and named her Pickles. She had just gotten out of a real pickle. Maintenance reached out to a local wild bird rehabilitator who has been nursing the deck back to health. Thanks to our staff and Wild Mountain Birds for helping rescue this lucky dog. In terms of contracts, I have signed off on the system-wide bridge safety improvement design to be presented to the board for a vote. We did take a look at our traffic patterns for in the last few years, and there are some positive trends that we are happy to report. Our traffic levels pretty much returned to our pre-COVID levels. We are within 94% of the 2019 traffic levels. Currently, we have approximately 60 million vehicles crossing our bridges in 2022. This is great, as it was the first time this happened since COVID. Commercial traffic also increased to 7.04%, being 2008, the last time that we exceeded 4 million vehicles, or more than 5.89% of total traffic in commercial vehicles. This is a fantastic position for our bridges. However, a long-run reduction in usage of the commuter plan continues. We have observed a trend for more than a decade that the usage of our commuter plan has reduced from 9.5 million in 2012 to less than 4 million in 2022. So we're gonna be looking closer to this trend to understand what is happening and how we can reverse these patterns. In terms of passenger vehicles, as I said before, we total traffic was 94.11% in 2018. It currently is nearly 94%. In terms of December of 2022 specifically, traffic, we had 4.78 million vehicle crossings, achieving 98.7% of 2019 traffic crossings. This is fabulous. Overall traffic for the year was 6.2 million, nearly 94%. December traffic consisted of 1.9 million valid Easy Pass tag reads and 0.2 million Easy Pass iPhones. This brings the total of Easy Pass utilization to 89% for December, which is great. Overall, Easy Pass utilization in 2022 was nearly 86%. In terms of revenue, November revenue came to be 5.8 million, that it was comprised 87% by Easy Pass tolls, 7% by tolls by mail, 6% by fees and fines, as well. And to complete the number, as I said before, to 5.841 million for the month of November. In terms of activity, I don't have any activity to report this month. We have a quarterly report from HVHP, the Historic Business of the Hudson Valley, that Chris Eber will present.
Great, thank you,
Thank you
Minoska,
so much.
and good morning to everybody. Kathy Burke, Director of Historic Bridges of the Hudson Valley, has submitted her quarterly report for the fourth quarter of 2022. A couple of highlights is HBHV has been lending their support, to NYSBA toward, looking forward to the NYSBA conference in 2024. That'll be centered around the Bear Mountain Bridge Centennial. The final school visit to the Richie Vacek Bear Mountain Bridge Museum for 2022 was held on October 26th. The Lincoln High School Science Research Program paid a visit to the bridge, and they received a presentation from Dr. Tom Matarazzo from West Point about the bridge motion sensors that he's been putting on the Bear Mountain Bridge and studying, doing a study around that. So really interesting stuff that he's been working on. In addition, HBHV is lending their support toward the creation of a STEM day at the NYSBA conference. So hopefully to connect young people from the area to the conference in order to get them interested in STEM related careers. HBHV is also working with NYSBA on a proposed time capsule to be placed at the Bear Mountain Bridge. That would help kick off the centennial celebration, so stay tuned for more info on that. And HBHV has also been working with local videographer Scott Snell, both on the teaser video for the NYSBA conference, as well as on a longer form video for the actual centennial. And full details are in the report.
Thanks, Chris. I think it's great that you're involving suicide weapons. That's a much more holistic approach.
Other questions for either Minoshka or Chris from the board members? All right, thank you for those reports. We now move on to engineering and maintenance. Jeff, first item on the agenda is the in-house capital program.
As you know, each year, engineering and maintenance develops a series of in-house capital improvement projects that are necessary and can be accomplished by our maintenance forces. This year, we'd like to get board approval to do $1,310,000 worth of improvements. This is a savings of over $1.4 million if we had gone outside to have this work done. So big applause to our maintenance department to be able to do such work.
Yeah, I think Jeff, under your leadership, it's a good mix of outside contractors and in-house work, and I think it's great to have both. Questions, comments from the board members?
No, great work, Jeff.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
second,
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye,
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, we have the system-wide bridge safety improvements design. Jeff?
Right, so we requested a cost proposal from our general consultant, Majeski Masters, to perform design and engineering services for various system-wide safety improvements. And they've come up with a cost of $160,704.90. And we would recommend to the board that you approve these support and design services so that we can perform various safety improvements throughout the facilities.
Questions, comments from the board members? All right, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Maria. Do I have a
Second.
second? Thank you,
Second.
Michael. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye,
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up is the Hudson Valley Bridge standby readiness increase. Jeff?
Right, so 2 years ago, the board approved Hudson Valley Bridge to be our standby readiness contractor. We had an amount of $480,750 approved. It is a 3-year contract, of which we're 2 years into it. We've exhausted our original amount of money approved, and we'd like to replenish that with $250,000 of the $500,000 that is in the capital program right now to get us through this coming year. And the emergency repair contracts do various things, rehabbing expansion joints. One big thing we're doing now is keeping the Bear Mountain Bridge deck rideable. We have to do various shoring and pothole repairs due to the age of the deck, which is scheduled for replacement coming up in the next few years.
So just a question, Jeff, this 730,000 would be for the 3 years. At this point, we have not made a determination as to whether to exercise the additional options. Is that correct?
That's correct, right.
Okay,
So the $730,000 is the total between what has been spent already, which was approved initially, and then for this $250,000 added on to that.
so what I'd like you to do is before you bring a recommendation for whether to exercise the option or not, is to evaluate why the price increase was so significant for to complete the work and then to do the work you anticipate in the 3rd year. Could be
Basically, what happens is when we went out for bid for this, we just have the contractors bid apples to apples. So we don't know what's going to come up in a 3-year period. Typically, we estimate something and then we'll have to deal with that as we go.
understand, but I think it will
Yeah.
be important to see before we as a board make a determination to exercise the
For
options.
sure. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Chair McDonough?
Yeah,
The analysis, I'll be submitting it today because I have the same question as to why it happened. So Brian and I and Jeff sat together to understand what happened and how it went. We kept it internally. I'll send it to the board members today and we can table for next month, the vote. So, okay.
Okay, would we anticipate if we do exercise the option for another year, that you might be coming before us for another 250,000?
Yeah, every year,
Let me just interject, because for 2 years, we spent close to 500,000. And now we're,
But I don't, we didn't buy a car and the car price changed. It's a time and materials contract. And so we bought 100 hours, but we ended up needing an emergency repair services. I think that's what you're gonna say.
okay.
So if I may, this contract is a time and materials contract. This
Okay.
vendor is a standby readiness in which when the authority has an issue that's unforeseen and is trying to go and repair an issue or address it quickly, we would utilize this contract. Most of the time, the common repair that's performed is a deck repair. Okay, so for punch throughs, we use this extensively at the Newburgh Beacon facilities as the decks were going and deteriorating before we replaced them. Currently, a good part of the expenditures over the last couple of years have been shoring activities at the Bear Mountain Bridge. We typically have gone and run approximately 250,000 a year for these. We upped the amount in the budget during the period we were doing the north span because we did a lot of shoring on that leading up to the ultimate deck replacement. So this is really, as a time and materials contract, it's very difficult to go and say, we know exactly what's going to happen. So for example, if one of the inspections comes through and we find, concrete deteriorating, we had some work for that up at, I believe it was Kingston or Rip, Jeff, if I remember correctly. But these types of things, it's not so much this is a construction project, we're going out and we're going to try to get a bid and have them do it. It's more a matter of, we just had a punch through or we had a pothole on the deck where the size and severity is too significant for our own forces to do. So this contractor, the individuals that we bring in to go and help us and address that issue on an urgent basis. Okay, so it's not so much that the price of it has gone up. There's natural fluctuation. We're hoping, knock on wood, we haven't had winter this year, so hopefully we won't see so much pothole issue, but we can't tell that. So in general, the 250 was a good number for a long time. Because we had the larger bridge, we did up it to 500,000. Originally in the plan, we had expected the north span not to be done quite as early as it was. And we are bringing the budget back down to 250 going forward. So we did do an analysis to go and identify where funds were spent. Minoska mentioned she's going to send that to you, but it's not so much an issue where we came in over budget. It's we had events take place that we utilized this contractor to, as quickly as possible, address what were urgent issues. I'm sorry, I just want to throw that in the
that's
back.
okay. Totally understand, and very familiar with that. So we will move forward with this resolution now and Minoshka will send us all the information. But before we make a decision to exercise the option, it may be beneficial to exercise the option, or it may be beneficial to go out with a new bid. So I want to leave that option open. Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Alex. Do I have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
aye,
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, Jeff, don't say this too fast, the Bobcat skid steer loader purchase.
Very good. You got to do that 2 more times quickly. okay?
No.
Yeah, so at Mid-Hudson Bridge, we'd like to purchase a new skid steer. It's used for snow blowing and various functions throughout the year. The one we have is a 1992 model that we would move up to the Kingston Bridge and then take the Kingston Bridge skid steer and put that on auction so that we have a better unit up there also. So we went out on the OGS contract and we found a supplier for $47,773.74.
Questions, comments from the board? Do I have a
Motion to
motion to approve and do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, Jeff, the fourth quarter accident report.
Right, so every quarter, Craig and I review the accidents that have occurred on all the bridges to see if there's something we could do maintenance wise, whether it's replacing pavement or doing something with alignments. But we've determined for this past fourth quarter that we believe all the errors are due to driver error, either driving too fast for weather conditions, not paying attention, or distracted driving, etc. So this is a summary of all those accidents. You'll notice that most of the bridges have gone down from prior times, mostly due to no more toll booths in the area. Mid-Hudson remains fairly high because although we removed the toll booth, there's still a 2-lane to 1-lane entrance to the bridge. So that's always been problematic and, you know, it's just
Regardless.
the way things are. Yeah.
Yep, regardless of a toll booth. So, okay, thank you, Jeff. Do the board members have any questions? There's no action on this item. Okay, last item for engineering and maintenance is our regular monthly jobs in progress report. Jeff?
Right, so the only job we have going on now is the Newburgh Beacon North Span continues. As mentioned in the past, since we have no winters anymore, the contractor is able to keep removing the scaffolding from under the bridge this year, which is a good thing. It may expedite our final completion date be prior to June of this year. We'll see, but as of right now, we're no problem on budget and on time for that project. And we're looking forward to our new season getting going shortly.
Great. Questions, comments from the board?
How many days till pitchers and catchers?
Okay, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Lanny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alex. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next we move, thank you, Jeff. Next we move on to the financial items. Brian, first up is our monthly investment report.
Thank you, Chair McDonald. The first item, the investment report contains 9 investments, all of which were routine. Those are reflected in the investment inventory on the next page. Currently, the maintenance reserve fund balance stands at 79.9 million available for capital program expenditures. To note on interest income and yield, oh, what a difference a year makes. If you look at January, interest at $27,540 on more funds because we're still sitting on bond proceeds. That compares to the month of November, which is 1 calendar day less. We made $246,000 in 1 month. So we're well on track to go and make about $1.4 million in investment income this year, which is where we're targeting. I'm still working through those numbers to come out to the year end. Are there no questions for that?
Okay, Thank you, Brian. This is excellent news. Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Alex. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, Brian, is the insurance fund balance determination.
Okay, this is an annual resolution that authorizes me as treasurer to go and increase the balance in the insurance funds. This is consistent with the engineer's estimates of the replacement values of the bridges, and this represents the deductible or retention on the bridge property loss of revenue policy. The increase year over year associated with appraised values, and as I noted, the engineer's appraised value sheet is attached to the board item. The increase moves from $13,233,000, a $388,000 increase to $13,621,000.
Questions from the board members? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Thank you, Maria. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up, we have the system-wide EDP consultant contract extension. Brian?
Thank you. Originally in 2019, the board awarded a contract to Fagan Consulting to assist the authority in the transition to AET, supporting the authority as a basically knowledge base in AET during the procurement and installation of the toll system. The contract originally had a time frame that was specified for an earlier implementation due to some delays associated with both procurement as well as the system acceptance, which we're still working through. We're asking the board not to increase the dollar value, but to extend the contract time period through through March 31st, 2024. The contract time period ended based on the last extension on December 31st, 2021. So again, this is not an increase in funds. This is just a time extension.
Questions, comments from the board members?
As part of this contract, as you know, we're all trying to learn how this works. Did they give us any, here's AET, here's how it works, materials?
No, this contract was primarily around two things. It was first to assist us in developing contract form, okay, and evaluation for the RFP for the proposals that came in. And second, it was to provide a knowledge base as we implemented. As you know, there is a benefit to having experience with this. So when the vendor says, oh, this is happening, it's very nice to have someone with 30, 40 years of experience saying, no, it shouldn't happen that way. Okay. So that's really the individual that we actually took on was someone that we had been working with. He was working as a sub as part of the traffic engineers report to help develop our bond documents. Okay. And when we had gotten familiar with him, we realized that he would be a tremendous resource because he also served as the project manager for the Henry Hudson pilot of tolls by mail down at MTA.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Other questions, comments from the board members? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up is the finance accident report.
Okay, thank you. This is really a report of the Accident Review Committee. The Accident Review Committee reviews both internal accidents and overall accidents for the authority. So this report is solely for information purposes. In the fourth quarter of 2022, we had 70 accidents on authority facilities. This is compared to 66 accidents in the previous year. During this year, there were 3 accidents, one with minor injuries involving authority personnel as compared to 2 during the same period of 2021. Details of those accidents are in the memo. I want to note that the Accident Review Committee has begun discussions with the Operations Safety and Security Departments to go and further refine training requirements for authority vehicle usage by the STPs, because we did see a bit of a pattern there where all 3 accidents reported were STP related. For the year, the total number of accidents was 246. This was lower than 302 experienced in 2021, despite higher traffic, but was still higher than the 174 in 2020, when traffic was very low due to AET, or excuse me, due to COVID. It was substantially lower than the 430 experienced in 2019, pre-AET and pre-COVID. This is obviously attributable to both COVID and AET. The 2022 accident volume translates into an accident roughly every 244,700 crossings, which is a nice substantial increase because previously it was down near 200,000 crossings. This information is provided to the board solely for information purposes. No action is required by law.
Questions, comments from the board members?
Thank you.
I think that shows, that'll continue to show the real safety benefits, hopefully, of AET. So that's a good thing. Next up on our agenda is, let's see, where did I put my agenda? Sorry, guys. We have no human resources. Next, we have IT. Fran, you have a server replacement program item.
Yes, thank you. This year, we are replacing 6 video servers, 3 at the Bear Mountain Bridge, 2 at the Mid-Hudson Bridge, and 1 at the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. This procurement also includes a 1-year warranty extension for a fuel system server, which is due to be migrated to a cloud system within the year. All servers are being replaced in accordance with our replacement cycle, and the old servers will be repurposed as needed. Through the New York State OGS contract system, we received an RFQ from Derived Technologies and MWBE, which supplied the authority with the lowest quote of $31,272.50. And this expense is identified in our department's capital improvement program.
Thank you, Francine. Questions, comments from the board members? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lanny. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Next up for bridge operations, we have Danielle.
Good morning. So this is just a request to remit payment for our annual memberships to the Transcom Operations Support. Transcom is a coalition of 16 transportation and public safety agencies in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, created to provide a cooperative, coordinated approach to the regional transportation management. The authority's annual contribution this year is increased to $79,054, up $7,148 from last year's cost. And that's just due to restoring previously made cuts COVID. The 2023 fees are still 3% lower than that of the 2019 through 2023 multi-year agreement amount of $82,665. This year's membership amount has been allocated in the authority's 2023 operations budget, and we're just asking for approval to remit payment.
Questions, comments from the board? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Alex. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien, sorry.
Aye.
And I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Before we leave,
Consider that a compliment.
Thank you. I appreciate it. A brother from another mother.
yeah, before we leave Transcom, Minoshka and Danielle, I would like you to reach out to the Transcom Executive Director. I would like him or her, I don't know who it is, to come to one of our board meetings. We will talk about a good date for them to give an overview of their understanding and their review of AET on the various facilities in the Transcom region, which includes the Bridge Authority, the Thruway Authority, the Port Authority, and the MTA. It may also include New Jersey, and I think it would be very beneficial for our members to hear from Transcom, which is the regional, overarching group that knows what goes on in all of these agencies that are experiencing AET, to have a good overview of their program. So you and I will discuss a good time to do that. All right?
Thank you.
Yep.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Michael.
No, I said thank you.
Oh,
I think that was a
okay.
great idea.
Okay. Next up, media and public information. We have none. We have no presentations to the board. We have no old business. Now we have 2 items for new business. First up is our general counsel appointment. I will turn that over to Minoshka, and we will go forward.
Actually, I will be
Oh,
taking that.
Okay,
So,
Lauren? Oh, yes, okay, yep.
So we are very excited to bring to the board our recommendation for the appointment of general counsel. We have with us here today Kevin Ehrenhals, who will be putting forward. The executive staff of the Bridge Authority posted for this position a few months ago, and we did an extensive review of many candidates that came forward to apply for the position. We had a 2 round of interviews. We were able to ask a lot of questions, do a lot of background on the qualified candidates that came forward. And at the end of that process, we came to the determination that we would like to put forward for consideration Kevin Ehrenhals for appointment by the board at a salary of $140,000. Mr. Ehrenhals, who currently works for the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, brings a wealth of state knowledge, experience, and innovative legal perspective, and a strong educational background, which was provided in more detail in his resume. So we bring this to the board for consideration.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you.
Do any of the board members have questions, comments?
I think it's very exciting. It looks like a knock on wood, a perfect match. And that your local here is incredible.
Yeah.
So your experience.
It's great.
Great.
And as you can see, it's a great springboard job too.
All right, do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Michael and Alex. I'll call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi,
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
All right,
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. Kevin, welcome. We look forward to working
Thank
with you. I do want to take a few minutes to thank Frank Hoare for his wisdom and guidance through both the virtual meetings we've had since we were constituted, were appointed as the board in August of 2020, through transitioning to the open public meetings. So Frank, your wisdom and guidance has been greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And we hope this is not goodbye, but we see you around. All right. Next up, we have the maintenance career ladder and salary grades. Minoshka?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The authority has been experiencing turnover of maintenance staff that it has not historically experienced before. Many staff members have resigned to work in the private sector and sister transportation agencies. To complicate matters, we have experienced limited interest from potential new hires to work at our facility. After analyzing the collective bargain agreement and reviewing recent actions by the New York State DOT and New York State Thruway, maintenance management and executive staff met to understand the issues the Department of Maintenance faces as follows. We have a limited career ladder. Currently, maintenance laborers start their careers at grade 7 For the contract, after 3 years, they automatically move to senior laborer position at grade A. And while most staff receive differentials that variably add to their compensation depending on the activities performed by the authority, only 3 additional promotion titles exist for all 50+ staff. These are the assistant bridge foreman, and senior bridge foreman. Effectively, most staff would remain at grade A for years with little opportunities for advancement during their career. This makes these positions more difficult to fill as it is a significant jump required from senior laborer to a supervisory position. We have also experienced low rates for the positions of laborers continue to increase in the market. Hours tended to be on the slightly low side. And what the appeal of a state job was always a combination of pay and benefit. For a young person starting their careers, waiting for a pension to benefit them until they turn 62, has been hurting our ability to hire new hires. And this creates low incentive to fill supervisory positions. Adding levels to the senior laborer title to provide career advancement while increasing the pay grade, this incentivizes individuals from taking supervisory positions. To complicate matters, competition from private and public sector have increased attrition among maintenance personnel. For instance, in the last 3 years, 3 of our foremen have resigned to go work for private and public employers. Thus, we believe salary grades for all maintenance positions need to be revised to address these issues. Based on our evaluation, we are recommending a proposed new maintenance structure that is reflected on the attached slide. This structure has a number of benefits to the authority. It provides a multi-level career ladder for staff advancement that benefits the authority. The addition of senior laborer 2 and senior laborer 3 titles requires proficiency in special skills that benefit the authority, but not requiring the use of contractors or dedicated positions to fulfill those tasks. Higher grades provides an incentive for new hires to consider the authority as an attractive career option, while also incentivizes our employees to stay here with us at the agency. And ideally, these individuals that we hire will advance to supervisory position over the coming years. It further incentivizes the retention of existing staff that have developed institutional experience and skills that are becoming more valuable in the private sector. The cost of this proposal is expected to amount to approximately $14.8 million over 5 years, of roughly $1.25 million over the current board approved budget and financial plan. Note that this estimate will be impacted by the final cost of living increase negotiations with the union. And important to note that this proposal does not fall within the scope of negotiation. This is a modification to the existing board approved collective bargaining agreement, which strengthens the authority's position to offer a competitive compensation package and career ladder for all new and existing employees. Attracting and retaining strong employees is a necessity to continue to maintain and operate our bridges to the highest standards provided that we have always provided to the community that we serve. So I have attached a resolution for the board to approve this change. Thank you, Madam President.
Questions,
have a
comments, from
question.
board members?
What is an A bridge versus a B? What is the?
You ready?
And is a B bridge
Small-
something we should stay on?
You would think that A and B, that A would be a big bridge and B would be a smaller one, but we did it backwards. So A represents the smaller bridges, so Bear, Kingston and Rip, and B represents the two bigger bridges, which are Mid-Hudson and Newburgh.
So there's like a length.
Well, it's really kind of scaled. The property at Mid-Hudson is sizable. The length at Newburgh, I mean, the 2 Newburgh bridges together are as long as the Mario Cuomo, okay, or one of the Mario Cuomos. So it's really kind of how we staff them. The facilities at Mid-Hudson require more staffing because of the complexity and the number of facilities. It also houses headquarters. But that's really the only differentiation, plus the areas in which people work in. There's a little bit higher cost of living, so there are some
Okay.
differentials associated with that.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Alex. Do I have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Michael. Oh, was it you, Lanny? Sorry. Okay, Lanny and Michael.
it was the good-looking one.
I'll now call the roll. Maria Bruni,
Aye.
Alex Berardi.
Aye.
Lanny Gilbert,
Aye.
Michael O'Brien,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. The resolution is approved and adopted. We will now go back to item 2 on our agenda, which is the Employee Appreciation Recognition Awards. Since I am not there in person, unfortunately, I'm going to read the summary of the storm response, and then I'd like Lanny, Alex, and Michael to award the to Lanny read off the names of the individuals, and then the three of you give the awards to the employees that participated, and then I probably will have to sign off because I have a 10 o'clock for Pickles the duck. So if one of you would take care of that, that would be great. So first up, the storm response. In recognition of your support and dedication to the state of New York in response to Winter Storm Elliott, a historic winter storm that devastated parts of the state by staffing the State Emergency Operations Center over a 10-day period. We thank you for exemplifying excellence and commitment, not just to the authority, but to the state of New York. When we are able to come together as a state and do our part, even from 300 miles away, we show the world what it means to be a New Yorker. You all gave up time over the holidays, time away from your families, from your friends, from holiday celebrations. And as the chair of the board and as the former DOT commissioner, I know the sacrifices you all made to do this. So I'm sorry I can't be there in person to thank you, but I will turn it over to Lanny to read the names, and Michael and Alex to hand out the certificates. Congratulations and thank you to all of you.
I would just like to add that it's something that seems to always bring this country and the state together is when we face a crisis, we respond as one. And I think that's really so incredibly significant. And so I thank you personally as well. And I'm sure all the other commissioners do. The first individual I have is Alex Vasquez. Thank you very much for your service. Thank you.
Picture.
The individual?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here. All the brother. I might go in that.
Thank you, guys. Gavin Forrester. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nominees.
The nominee. Brian Nesto. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. James Cotter. Right. So, thank you.
Get closer, Michael. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Jonathan Gioia? Did I pronounce it right?
Actually,
Gioia, okay. Thank you.
thank you. Congratulations. And you have two unable to attend.
One was for Lauren Jackson, and I'm sure this will be delivered to Lauren.
Yes.
And Nick Casalino as well. Thank you, Nick, for your service. Noah Rudner. Noah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Sarah Byrne. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Maybe a round of applause.
Yeah.
I think next up you have some recognition for the folks that saved the duck that was in a pickle.
Right. I have a quick story. I saved once my kids were thrilled. I saved a frog from being trapped in a garden webbing that I had. And I let it out. And, the frog just jumped around, went across the back of the house, and to all our horror, the frog was in the mouth of a snake.
Oh, God.
Doesn't always work out. But very fortunate.
We're hoping for better for pickles. Although the parents have been pushing outside their cage.
Thank you all for helping Pickle, and I'm sure Pickle helped, thanks you as well. Evan Baez.
Thank you. Thank you. Who was it that spotted pickles first?
Sean Constantine.
John, was it you on Facebook, I think? But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was.
Sean's famous.
Thank you. Daniel Joyce.
Thanks.
Thank you. Where can we get these t-shirts?
Yeah, good work.
Kevin Condon.
And drum roll.
Please,
Maria.
Maria Delarose.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you again. Congratulations. And finally, I want to give a special thank you to Annie, a rehabilitator and wildlife bird educator at the Wild Mountain Birds, at Wild Mountain Birds. She took Pickles in, nursed her back to health, and I am very happy to report at this moment that Pickles was released back into the Hudson River on early Monday morning near the Osophius Meadows.
Keep your eyes out.
Take a group photo.
Not captured by a snake.
Sorry.
I'll take everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might go.
Yeah,
over.
you'll be
Couple
You're the
people.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Here you guys want to move in a couple of, yeah, there you go.
Do that, I wouldn't be able to.
Guys, we're gonna take this and then I just want Laura Minoska after to join.
On.
Okay. Wait, Minoska.
Yeah.
And Lauren's right next to you.
Go ahead. Want to get in like leg across.
3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Nice.
But
group.
that's the every mistake. I will entertain, in the absence of Joan McDonald, our chair, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Alex? Michael was moved, Alex, a show of hands, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, sir. Meeting is adjourned, thank you, and we will see you next month.